Okay, so it's 2:34 on the 10th. And I've been up since I think I got up at one something, early one something. I've been up for a while. The maybe it was 1:30. I don't know, maybe I don't know. Fuck if I know. I swear to God, my mom was talking, or yesterday, my mom was down here and we were talking, and I was like, "Did you go somewhere yesterday?" She's like, "I don't know." And I said, "I'm getting so confused over what's real and what's not real and what's a dream and what isn't even happening. Like, I'm so confused anymore." And she's like, "Me too." And but anyways, then we did put it together. She did leave. She did go somewhere, but it's weird. Everything is just so, God, it's weird. And yesterday, oh my fucking God. I swear to God, sometimes the shenanigans in this fucking system just irk me. But today starts I'm getting the trailer today. Loading it up. The moment of truth. How much stuff will fit in this trailer. And then the drive. Like, I've got so much on my mind about the drive. How much is it going to be in gas? How much longer is it going to be to pull a trailer? Can I handle pulling a trailer around the mountains? Is it going to pull me right off the side of a mountain? I don't know. What is it? Whatever it is what it is. It's like, what will be, will be. That's the true thing, too. What will be, will be. And I have a whole bunch of videos. Like, my mind's very scattered now. It's hitting on to all these different videos. But hold on, let me drink this real quick before it's too cold. That I'll wipe away my powder mustache. The So yesterday though, I went to try and get a bunch of stuff done. I had come to that thing of like, because my gas situation after driving over to Coeur d'Alene. So I was left with not much gas. So I had to then drive out to Deer Park, which is going out through mountains too. And then got out there, and then I decided to drive into town from there and go to Costco. Because it's one of the first places you hit. Well, you go through Colbert, which has got a little bit of stuff. But then once you get over there, like, it's the big main thing before you go right into Spokane to all the stores and stuff. And so I was like, I'm just going to go that way. I think it's only like 30 miles. I have enough gas to do that rather than come back here, go out there. Like, I was like, man, that adds a lot in it. It doesn't make any sense. It makes more sense to go that way. And then I think I already said about this weird shit with my identity. I just can't. Then you tell people who are in the 3D kind of like, you got to handle this stuff mindset. And to me, it's like, fuck it. Fuck it. And if somebody else wants to live off my identity, fuck it. do what you want to do. I'm not dealing with it. And it, which reminded me, because yesterday my mom said, "Didn't somebody steal your identity a long while ago?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't remember. But now, then my daughter said something today that all of a sudden triggered the memory. I was like, yes, it was. And it was, I think, during that time when I was trying to get a loan for something. And there was all this other stuff that wasn't mine on my credit. And they made me go and clean it up. Like, I had to do all this shit. And so I don't know if it's the same people who have it now or if it's new, but the whole thing with this credit and the credit score, so that's going away no matter what. Either system, which I know which system we're going with, even though there could be a reality that's going to split off and go with the other one because they need to go through digital IDs and shit and being tracked with trackers inside you. But that's not the one I'm going to. I'm going to this other one. This one that Donald's been making setting the table for. And but either way, the current one is going away. The current situation's ending. So, and I know tons of people are out there, working on their credit score, worrying about that. It's like, it's either going to go into the compliancy score or the nothing. And I'm going towards the nothing. It's this bullshit. So it's all ways of control. And but the, so having the realization that that it was stolen a long time ago. And now, oh, because, when they were trying to verify me, like, I don't remember if I said this already. So when I was trying to get the marriage license from California State, and so I have to do it all over online or whatever, because they won't talk to you. They won't do anything. And like all these counties around here, you can call, talk to people. Not there. And so I got to talk to somebody who just sent me the link. They don't help you. They don't talk to you and do stuff. There were one like in Lincoln County, and I talked to her. She did the whole thing and sent it to me. Didn't have to freaking give my social security, give this. I have this third party check to see if I'm really me. It's like, this is so, like, you really think somebody wants my marriage license so much? They're going to pay for it and everything else. It's like, well, why? What would be the point? And so anyways, when they're doing this check, everything that was coming up to check me wasn't my shit. I didn't ever live in this place. It'll give you a list. Pick which place you've lived in or none of the above. Then pick which place you got a loan in 2025 or none of the above. Pick which place you got a loan at in 2024 or none of the above. Pick which place you got a loan in 2021 or none of the above. It was all places that were none. I didn't get a loan in 2021. I didn't get a loan in 2024. I didn't get a loan in 2025. And none of the places that they gave me have I lived in. So it was all like none. And then each time, because I had to go through it 3 different times with 3 different groups of questions, and every time I failed. It's like, okay, so whoever's got my identity is like they've taken off, like they're doing their own thing. It's like I'm X'd out, just like it was on Facebook. They took over my Facebook, and I was X'd out. So they carry on. It's like, whatever. I'm done fighting this bullshit. You know, they elevate the corruptors, and they just bury us in hoops and bullshit that we have to jump through. I was like, fuck this bullshit, man. So anyways, I had to then be notarized. I had to go to a place and have them say that I was who I am. And you have to show ID and stuff. And most people, if you have a bank, they have notaries there. And it's all free. So, because you can also go to realtor places, and there's different places you can go. But I think you have to pay and stuff if you go to those places. But if you go to your own bank, they usually all have notaries and you don't have to pay. It's a service they provide. And then, so that's what my plan was to go to Costco, get gas, run in Costco, get all the stuff that I was going to take. So my honey, my kombucha, which I got more sugar. So I'm going to start making my own kombucha again once I get over there and get settled. And then got some more peanut butter, do my peanut butter cookies. I'm going to live off peanut butter cookies, which I just saw this video of this girl. And she's in Poland or something. She was in Poland or something. And she was very, I've seen a couple of these, like, online. I don't know if you know who Eugenia is. You can look her up. I mean, she's scary looking. She's dead now, but I swear to God, this is like the 3rd or 4th time I've heard she's died. And over the years. So, who knows? They've constantly got dead people coming back. I swear to God, Lisa Marie Presley died a long time ago, and now she's come back and she died again. It's like, this is so weird. Like, what? She died a long time ago. What are you talking about? But I swear it's the same thing with Eugenia. But anyways, if you go look her up, it's freaky looking how skinny she is. And she built a whole platform off of this person, this persona that she created, this like skeletal looking person. And now there's a bunch of them. And Eugenia is dead, but now there's a bunch. And on TikTok, there's 2 sisters or something. And they look just alike. Oh, and they're just so skinny like that, where they're just like bones with skin over it, and their face is so gaunt and stuff, and they move around and they play. Oh god, it's so scary movie. Oh god. But anyways, there was another one of these girls like this, who was skinny as fuck like that, and so she said, well, it's like a recording because she died, and so they were showing her downfall. And so she was like, I don't know, regular person. And then she decided that she wanted to, I don't know what, I mean, a lot of us, as we've woke up, the food started really, I mean, when you start considering like everything is full of fucking poison, which I'll tell you another fucking creepy thing about the meat thing, but so everything is like, oh, do I want to eat that? Oh God, everything. It's like, so I don't know if she went through that or what, but for some reason she decided she only wanted to live off fruit. But she also said that she was really down on herself, on her body, and she wanted to be thinner. Well, she became like Eugenia then, and still kept eating just fruit. And her family was telling her, please eat some protein, please eat some food. And she wouldn't. She just lived off fruit. But what trips me out is like there's these brethren, this group, what used to be considered a cult. And they stopped eating a long time ago. And they just live off of like the energy, the sun, like they're on a different level. And so, and then all these people who started with this fasting, where people started being like, yeah, I've been fasting a month, like not taking anything but water. And so it's like, it's all up in here. And so I would think that she was down on herself, that she was purposely starving herself. And whatever her intention was with just eating fruit, I'm not sure. That's what I mean. Like, I don't know if she was doing it out of fear. I don't know. But so it was showing all this video of this cute girl and going down, down, down until she became like this skeleton. And then I guess she just apparently died, and the family was sharing this video so other people could see don't do this. And because it seems to be some kind of trend or something. It's so thin. It isn't. I mean, it is. It's not even thin. It's skeleton. Like their thighs, their legs are like the bone, just the bone. So it's like these two bones. They're like a skeleton. You know, I'm not even kidding you. I mean, you get like that, your organs start shutting down. So anyways, she traveled from somewhere. She lives in Poland, I think it was. And then she traveled somewhere and she died. This just happened. So the family was just sharing this. So anyways, that whole thing. But I swear it has to do with how you look at it. How, I don't know. So anyways, I mean, I eat very different. I mean, I'm not starving myself or anything. But a lot of people would think, but I'm not losing weight like that. I'm not going, I mean, like, people tell me I'm thin, but yeah, I'm just thin. I'm not like, but I'm also like small boned. And if I carry a bunch of extra weight, it's uncomfortable. So it is, I think it just has to do with my frame kind of. And then I'm not heavy, but but I'm not like deteriorating like that. And I don't eat meat. I don't eat, there's lots of shit I don't eat. But anyways, but I eat food. I eat a lot of cookies. So I'll eat a lot of cakes if it brings cakes and pies around too. I eat a lot of ice cream sundaes. I eat a lot of junk. But also, I mean, I do eat a lot of edamame, which I didn't even have any clue that it's really soy beans. I thought, I don't know, I thought edamame were like a different kind of bean, but it's soybeans. But so I looked it up because soy has had such a rap of don't eat too much soy. And I looked it up and they said, well, it said no, it's really good for you and stuff because it's a high protein thing that's going around as like it's an alternative to eating chips and stuff. And so I ate a lot of that. So whatever. But who knows what we really need because we're fucking holograms. So I don't know. Everything is just what you're here to learn or experience. And okay, so I have a couple of experiences I want to say. So, oh, this one on the food thing still. God, I'm sore and I've got a fucking about the shoveling horse shit is like it's very heavy, and then shoveling hay but I was enjoying it. I was really enjoying it. And yesterday I did 4 dogs, and after I'd already gone out and shoveled all the hay and stuff, she was really sad to see me go. She was really she said how much she enjoyed working with me. But but I'm already sore now. I got to go move all this stuff because my furniture is real wood, so it's heavy as fuck. So and I'm doing it by myself. So, anyways, it's like, oh, gotta get ready for this shit, man. But when I've talked about the food being human so many times, so I just saw a couple videos. For one thing, down at the place where they're stealing the dogs to make them into meat, somebody was showing, there's a dog in here with a collar. They fucking, I mean, you got to keep your dog safe. I think there's people out there, just the same thing I was talking about yesterday, these certain people who are out to steal the KIDSs and they get paid handsomely for doing so, for hunts and everything else, that, there's also a certain group that goes out and steals the DOGSs. And so, and there's big money in it, taking them down to the food factory. And so, you gotta watch out, man. They'll go in, and man, this like Stella, jeez, man. She would be at risk because of her size. Probably bringing in big money. It's like, fuck, man. So watch out. This one was a golden retriever. This one where the people were like, this dog has a collar on. This is not some stray dog. This is somebody's pet. And, which is just so much sad stuff about the whole thing with the dogs and stuff. It's just, oh man, this is so sick. But there's people who, my mom was talking to a couple different people yesterday and about some situation with dogs, and people are just blank. They don't know, they don't care, they don't think about it. It's like, this is why everything is happening the way it's happening. To get you to start paying attention to the things that do matter. To start caring about the things that do matter. Stop caring about the bullshit. So, Nicole Kidman is a distraction to keep you focused on bullshit. Because there's real shit that is going on that we need to care about. And what they're doing to the animals and what they're doing to humans and everything is it's not right. And you have to wake up and participate in change. And we do it through awareness. We do it through contact. We do it through talking about it. We do it through people stepping up and making change. That's how things change. We just sit back and let everything just continue the way it is. It would continue the way it is until we just fucking blew ourselves up. It is ending. It's gonna end, and we're gonna watch. We're gonna see some fucking bad shit's about to go down, which I still say it's the fucking the reduction in the population. I still say it's gonna be natural to storm things. And so whatever it was, 6 days ago or something, there was the earthquake. And I can't remember. It seems like it's the Philippines and Indonesia, just bouncing back and forth. But there was a 6.6, and yesterday there was like a 7.5 in the other place. So these are going to reverberate through the Ring of Fire and hit over here. Like the tectonic plates that shift here, they're going to shift here. It's like this back and forth readjustment just in the micro macro as we are readjusting. We could be over here one day and then all of a sudden we hear something, we're over here the next day. It's like we're all over the place as we readjust to discover ourselves, to understand ourselves. So That is happening on the micro, macro. Everything happens as a representation of everything else. And so the more activity with that just makes me think like we're getting closer to the big one is gonna hit over here in America. And then probably once it hits over there, it's gonna reverberate down through underneath and like go towards Missouri or something and have some over there, because there's big shifts that are going to happen because the Mississippi becomes huge. It takes over, it becomes huge. So, which I think it completely divides. Like, I think in order to get to this, what's going to be kind of a strip, I think it will come down from Canada though, but we're going to have to cross it. Well, hopefully we got our hover cars. We'll just zip around everywhere, and hopefully we get access to portals so that we can just get here and get there and get everywhere. But but I just heard this lady's video. It was really, really good. And I went on, I started following her, and then I went on, and she's on YouTube. And I went and looked at the name. I'll share a link to her thing in here because you guys might find her interesting how she explains things. So I thought she was really interesting because she was explaining, I don't know, she's talking, I think, about some of the same stuff I talk about, but just it's from a different view, a different perspective, a different explanation. So anyways, I thought she was interesting, so I'll share a link to her thing. Which somebody also sent me a link to somebody talking about the money, and that Donald announced that they were taking in like 280 in the TARRIFs, and that he's going to give that back to the people. So we're still expecting, they were saying that we should still be expecting these payout for around 2K. So I don't know. There's always this stuff going around. I'm still hoping that this is about to, that would really help me with my move. So, or even getting settled or anything. So, my mind's going through all these different things. Oh, you could get this. So, I just saw a thing about wood stoves on sale. I was like, dang, wood stoves are expensive, but I could get one. Because my brother said he wanted to put one in there. I was like, that would be nice. So, anyways, okay. The other thing I was going to say about the food thing. So, this was in Germany, and they got busted, and it was a McDonald's, and they decided they needed to save money. So, they changed their place where they were buying their meat from. And so they started buying it from this cheaper meat distribution place or something. So they were getting their meat brought in, and their sales went up. Everybody was coming in saying, man, this is the best burger I've ever had. This is what, it creeps me the motherfucking out. This is what I've said before. It's like, I swear to God, there's going to be a group of people that were like, because when it comes out, what people have been eating, there's going to be a group of people that are just totally grossed out. They're going to be like, they're going to fall apart. And that they're going to be like, oh, they're going to be like, heaving, and they're going to be grossed out. Like, you even talk about it, like, and people are standing there, they're going to start like, oh, they're going to get sick. They're not going to be happy at all. And but I swear to God, there's going to be a group of people that's going to be like, well, it's pretty good. I wonder how he tastes. It's like, I don't know. It's going to get creepy. Just like that one couple who they had KILED'd somebody. And then they decided, well, the only thing we could do is eat him. What else are we going to do? We got to destroy evidence. So they, yeah, I think the guy was a hunter or something. So they went through and did the same thing with the body, and they wrapped it all up and put it in their deep freeze. And so they, over the next year, they ate it all. Once it was gone, they decided, well, I think we ought to do that again. And they did it over and over and over. I don't know, it was the 6th or 8th person that they did it to is what got them caught. But that's how they initially started. He's like, I don't know. It's just we're all different. But so this McDonald's, everything, people started coming more and more and more because everybody's like, man, these are the best burgers I've ever tasted. It's just gross as fuck, man. So one of the girls that was working there, she's making the burgers, and she feels something. She pulls it out, and it's a wedding ring, and it says "Yours forever, Anna" or something like that. So they call the police. The police come out and start an investigation, and then they find that it's all their meat is, you know what I'm saying. So they have to go back even further. So what McDonald's was doing was splitting it. You know, it was like it was a split between beef and this stuff. So it was a mix. You know, the place that they were getting it from, they had a thing going with a funeral home. So the funeral home was selling them meat, which, how many times have I said this? Like, they are not going to, I mean, there could be, like, if you find one that's on the up and up, like, there's not one set thing where everybody's bad. No, we all are making choices here. So there's good and there's bad if you want to look at it on that level. But it is, not everybody's the same. And everybody has the opportunity to figure out who you are. But there are some that are corrupt, and they make money. They're going to make money. They don't care what the cost is. They don't have the integrity to lose. They just don't give a shit about it. So so there is lots of different funeral places and stuff, people who have access to bodies that are partying them out and selling them and stuff because they make money. And especially, just think about it, like, if you tell the people, here, you're going to have to pay this much for, especially a closed casket, like, I'd fucking have it open until I thought he was going to put something in a casket, keep it open. But that, I mean, they could, I don't know. I mean, nothing would surprise me. If they put like a wax figure in there, you get your person. Nothing would surprise me at this point. But so you get the money from the people, then you take the body and you sell it. And even when they have the funerals, like if you've been to a funeral, I've been to a few, and a lot of times they wheel like you have the room where you're all sitting and the body's up there and everybody's whatever, the whole thing, the whole service. Then there's a door, they wheel it through, and then come out back where the hearse is, and then they put it in the hearse. But think about the thing that they're wheeling around. There can be a little what is that called? It's like a grifter thing, you know, like the one briefcase looks just like this briefcase. This briefcase is the one you want. You just switch over to the other one that's empty. So they wheel it in the back, but they've got this other one sitting there just ready to go. They just go over to that one, pull it, leave that one back there. And that one's the fancier coffin that you've paid $10,000 for, this beautiful resting place for your dead person. And then and it's empty. And then they take it in there, and then they take it out to the place. And a lot of people go to the grave site to watch it go underground and have another ceremony out there. And so, because there's grave diggers out saying stuff too. And so, anyways, that would not, I think there's probably places that do that. And then they have the good coffin that they just reuse. And then they take the body out, and then they go to send it back at the back of the thing. And they either send it over the meat place, they take the hair, they depends on their access to, you know, the dark web, who is it, because it's all like I was talking about yesterday, I think it was the internet, the interweaving of the corruption depends on your access. And but there's also an approach level. So the bad guys approach what would be the good guys until they get approached, and then they get an offering, and then they turn into bad guys. And so see how they always are making criminals, man. They're always making criminals. So those people are confronted by these other people, and then they make a choice. And so, and some are probably more forced into a choice, but that's how they get this. So they don't have to be like a funeral home director guy, doesn't have to be sitting there thinking, how can I make some extra money? No, there's these other people that know, like, oh, there's big money here, so let's go over here and let's go in and tell him where you can make a little extra. And I don't know, I think that they make some of the offerings so good that some people, it just keeps eating at them and eating at them. Like I can see them like going home and then thinking about it and thinking about it. And then, oh yeah, because the gangsters, they have that thing about insurance policy. Well, you better pay your insurance, and you don't pay it, then all of a sudden your building blows up. So that, see what I mean? They kind of force some people into some of this stuff. So, because then the money, it's all about this money, man. It's corruption. But the thing is too, the forces that be, it's the corruption, really, that's feeding into the system. It's the going against your soul, feeding into the system. So that's what feeds into the dark. That's what makes the blob bigger, is the soul being corrupted, and it becomes more dark, and that is the real currency, because the yearning or the lust for the money. But the problem is the lust for this other thing, because the money is not even real. And when you want things, the universe will give them to you. It's like, so anyways, but that's the corruption is really about corrupting the soul, and they're always making criminals. So they do it on purpose because that feeds the darkness. And then it is, like I've been saying, that it depends how deep you get yourself into the dark and how hard it is to get out. And then some people just like feed into it, and it's like they don't take steps to get out of it. So there's some people who are deep into it. And so it's up to you at this point in time, as the light comes in, to recognize where you are and to pull yourself free. Because you can pull yourself free, but it's up to each person. And not everybody is meant to, because like I've been saying, the dark has to stay in existence, because we have to have the dark in order to have the light be able to understand itself. So you have to have both things. So the dark is not ever going away, because it's a part of what existence is. And we all have dark inside of us. It just depends on how dark you go. And then when you want to pull free, I mean, there's probably some people who don't even want to. They wouldn't care. Like there's this kid, and I had heard about this a while ago, but I just heard this lady talking about it, and it just reminded me of it again. But there was a guy who, it was like, I don't know, 2023 or something, some grown-ass man who was in his RV or something, and he was found, somebody had done him in. And so, investigation. And I don't know how all it went, but this kid now, who is 10, so now he's 10, he did something else, and then I think he did something, And then he said, well, this isn't the first time. The first time he was 7, and he decided, well, I wonder what that would feel like to go do somebody in. And he went and got his grandpa's GUN and went down to the RV place, and he's the one who did in that guy. And now he has gotten way worse. Now he's 10, and he is harming all sorts of people's pets and all sorts of stuff. There's a whole thing going. And the grandma is trying to get him back into school, and the school has made what is that called? One of those legal things where he's not allowed at the school. He's not allowed around there. So they've done this against a kid, and the grandma's trying to fight it. So it's in court right now, where they're trying. It's the craziest shit. It's like, this guy needs to be institutionalized, especially if he did. What? But I don't know. I mean, in these 3 kids that just attacked this little girl, I don't even know if I had seen that she was injured and she was unconscious and stuff, but now I saw a video that says she didn't make it. And the kids that did her in was a 3 little gang, 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, and an 8-year-old. She was 5, and then they did heinous things to her, just totally heinous things. It's just heartbreaking, and I hope that she didn't DIE, but I don't know if she did or not. But it's fuck, man. Fuck. I mean, we got fucking sociopath fucking kids out here. Like, jeez. I just saw this video of this woman who was sharing this thing. I don't even know what it was. It was like this voice of the internet speaking to us. The voice of whatever. It sounds like some kind of demon or something. But, so, and he's saying, like, he's the god of the internet. I don't know, but talking about, like, all the people are already trapped. The people are already trapped in it. That this device that you spend all this time is already sucking your energy. You are already feeding, and it's been being fed by all the people and stuff. And then he started talking about the kids, and he was saying, you know, all this, just handing your kid a device and stuff, it's already, this entity is already feeding off of all of the energy of what is going down. And he even says about the kids speaking to him and praying to him. All this, it's just creepy. But he said, he gave some stats over the amount, and there's a certain amount of the kids, I can't remember the actual numbers now, but there's a certain amount of kids that spend more time on a device interacting with that than they do with any flesh and blood person, any human, any people, even animals. And so they're already in his world. So I don't know. I think it is something that, you know, we need to wake up from. We need to start participating in life in a different way. That the device is sucking the life out of people, and especially just handing it off to kids, and kids are becoming less capable than they were. Like, the device is literally sucking the life out of them. And then we got this whole generation of kids that don't even know how to interact. They're emotionally can't handle anything. It's also, and things have got to change. And then we got man, I can't even get over how many of these that I hear about, these moms that are just like, they should not be parents. It shouldn't be. I don't even get, like, they get just knocked up by some guy, and then they thought, well, they were going to get the guy if they had the baby, and they were going to have a happily ever after. And then that all falls apart, and then they're stuck with this kid. And then anybody who's had kids know that they're takers. They are so much givers. They're takers, and they can drain the fuck out of you. And so these moms, you know, these people who are already fragile, who already have feeling like the world's taken from them. And then this kid, I mean, they are going at these infants and toddlers like that they are, I can't even believe it. This lady, her 3-year-old, so she's in there with her fella of the moment, going to town in her room. And there's so much noise. The 3-year-old wakes up and walks in the room and sees. The mom gets so pissed at this 3-year-old. She starts just going to town like a fucking beat down, beating this 3-year-old. When she got too tired, so she's too tired now, she's exhausted, she asks the guy to join in. Then she gets revived. They both go to town on this little fucking 3-year-old. Then they throw her back in her room. Of course, she dies. And I don't even remember. The mom called and tried to tell a story, but then they saw the kid was beaten to a pulp. And so, whatever, if they make arrests. But, you know, I think that a lot of these people, when they get them in there and they see they're immoral, they're like, hey, we got a job for you. We'll let you off, but you need to, you know, come to work for us. So that's how they get these people who go around doing this horrific stuff. It's like, you do horrific shit, you go in, and then they're like, oh, you're exactly who we're looking for. You're the perfect candidate for this job we've got. And then they let people off on some of these crimes, and they become INFORMANTSs. And they, it's just like carte blanche to be able to go commit more crimes. You could go do what you want to do, and you're covered. And, and there was this other one, which just to me shows the racism in the people who are in charge. They try and say that it's us, but it's them. And so many with these cops, man. And so a man was driving. Of course, he's dark complexion, and he's driving down the wrong side of the road. So he's doing some odd stuff. So they pull him over. They go start talking to him, and he's out of it. And so they call in the expert, who start to see if somebody's on drugs. And that guy who's the expert says, oh, it's obvious. Let's just arrest him. You know, there's no way this is medical. Just arrest him. Doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. Take him into the cell, which he's laying on the ground, like rolling around, peeing. He's pissed himself. And he, you know, passes and doesn't make it. And in their report, they were going by, checking on him, and seeing that he was, they were kept writing, he's doing fine, he's doing fine. Well, at some point, whatever, they send him out to the hospital, and he had had a stroke, and they were trying to save him, but they couldn't save him. So, you know the reason that they did that. Well, I mean, it could have been any, you know, like if I went in there, they would look at me like, oh, she's a drug addict, who cares? Because all those tattoos and stuff, they wouldn't give a shit. So it's not just dark-skinned people. It's like whatever their biases tell them that you have no worth, then you have no worth to them. They don't give a shit. They think you're a prostitute, if they think you're a drug addict, if they think you're whatever it is, you're poor, whatever the thing is that they decide. So it's not just racist, they're biased, they shouldn't be people out there that are running the world. And fuck, man, yesterday the day before when I drove to Coeur d'Alene, I could not believe, as soon as you cross the border into Washington State, there is fucking cop after cop after cop, just driving down the highway, just trying to button. You see people pulled over, it's like, your whole fucking thing is just pulling you over and busting you. It's like, Jesus Christ, this place, man. I swear to God, the whole time I was in Oregon, I did not see any. The whole time I was in Idaho, I did not see any. But you cross into Washington, it is cop after cop after cop after cop. And a big part of my drive is through Washington. I just put on cruise control. But then once I get to Oregon, then it's all through the mountains. So it's like, you can't really be doing much. I mean, there is. There will definitely be people flying by me and going 90 miles an hour and shit. But Oregon doesn't give a fuck. and then Idaho. But I don't cross very much into Idaho. I was like, as soon as I got into Idaho, it was like I was right there. So it's like I'm right on the border of Oregon and Idaho almost. And I don't know, I'm not familiar with the area, but anyways, I'll become familiar with the area. And starting tomorrow when I take off on that drive, but it will be once I'm there all the time, then, and I'll start going out, which I can't just go and take off without my dogs. So I don't know, probably in the winter is gonna mostly be just hanging out, watching movies. God, I'm always hearing weird noises. Hanging out, watching movies, just doing bullshit. Just hibernating for the winter, just hanging out. But I will have to go like to the grocery stores and stuff. And yesterday when I was at my bank, so I went to Costco, got gas. Then I went in Costco, got my kombucha, my honey, and my peanut butter and sugar. And then I went to the bank to get notarized that I'm who I say I am. And so then it had to be scanned to me so I could send it as a file online back to Riverside. And then, so I'm sitting there waiting. And then she's like, well, our internet's really sucky. So you can go home. And she gave me all this stuff. She gave me checks in case I needed to send it. She was trying to do everything she could. She was the nicest lady. And she even went and looked it up to see if I had a branch near my home, which I do. Like, there was none over there by where I was living before, but yeah, there's a branch near me. So if I need another notary, just go down there. Because how often do you really go to the bank? Not very often. Which, at the bank, they were having a big old thing, which I was like, I wonder if they're going to be a redemption center. That, because they have balloons everywhere, they have popcorn, which I kept being like, what is the popcorn? It had circus written. So I was like, what is going on? I didn't ask her though. But it seemed like something was going on. But she was so freaking nice and so helpful. But anyway, so she did all the stuff. So, and I couldn't do anything while I was there. So I got back here. I started trying to do it. They accepted my file after like the 4th time of trying. Every single thing I've done on this is 3 or 4 times. And you have to keep doing it over and over and over and over. It's so aggravating. So I got him to finally accept the file. Then I started trying to get him to accept my payment. And it kept denying my payment. I went on my bank. It's taking it out of my bank and then putting it back in. Taking it out, putting it back in. So I had the right account. I had all this stuff. But for some reason, they weren't taking the money. It just kept putting it back in. So which I may have to call today and see, because I'll go up to U-Haul and pay, and if there's any kind of weird shit with that, then I'll have to see, like, if something happened with my card yesterday doing this other thing. So, because I had them change my address to the new address, so I don't know if that threw the whole thing in a fucking turmoil. But what was I going to say? Oh, so I'm sitting here trying to put the payment in 3 times, and it says, well, we've denied you 3 times. You need a new card. So I go through, I try it again, 4th time, still wouldn't work. So I was like, I cannot fucking believe this shit. This is so ridiculous. So I go up and I asked my mom, can I put it on your card? And then I'll Venmo you the money. And so I did it on hers, worked first time. So I don't know. Every single thing I've done on this thing has been ridiculous. It's just like, fuck, and I just feel like dance, monkey dance. It's like, Jesus Christ. And I swear to God, this stuff is so annoying. So the last thing I'm gonna do is just try and go clean up my credit and find, get my identity back. Like, fuck it. Like, I'm not helping your credit score, that's for sure. Like, you're trying to use my credit score. I used to have a good one. I can see why they would steal it back in the day, but nowadays it's like, fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck about that. But when full disclosure, when you get to that point, you gotta have a backup plan. Just look at, because even when my car had an issue and I couldn't get a loan to get a new car, luckily my mom stepped in and she got a loan for me. And so I still needed, I mean, I could have sat there and just tried to save up the money, but I think at that point I was paying my house payment. It's like, how would I ever be able to get the money to get a new car? But that would be the thing. It's like, when you pull out and you say, I'm not going to pay this, I'm not going to do that, then, and mine was a house. Well, first it was the credit cards. First, it was my credit cards. It was when we got back from the wedding, and I let all these people put stuff on my credit cards. And my credit cards and they were all going to make payments on it and stuff. And then we got back, they closed everything down, and everybody lost their jobs, and nobody could pay it. And I was like, fuck it. I'm not paying this shit. Fuck this shit. And that's when I was also seeing what Charlie was saying. They would do this all on purpose. This was the end of all that stuff. So it all went together for me where I was like, fuck this. But then, so I stopped paying them. And then what is that, like 5 or so years now? And all I've gotten so far is a few threatening, like, like, oh, you're in collections for this. Please make a payment. I just throw them away. They may have one time sent something that they tried to be like, oh, this is a legal thing, No, I think a lot of stuff is threats. And I swear to God, I think that they haven't even done anything with my house, because I'm still getting notifications of I could sell my house and stuff like that. So I think that even if they go and they take stuff, that there's still a breakdown in what the corporate law would allow them. And now they've got interference, because that's what Donald has been doing this whole time, is to make it where they can't do the things that they used to do. So I think they could, with their corrupt people who would, evict me out of the place, but they can't go forward or something. I don't know. It could just be some weird glitch where I keep getting all these notifications I could sell my house and all this stuff. So I don't know. The realtor is always sending me how much my house is worth and what I could sell. But I also know that that is all built on the corruption of destruction of the economy, and all these people who get so excited like, oh, the value of my house has gone up. It's all a scam. It's so they can raise your taxes so that they can destroy things and take the homes. It's like, and we're all just play along like, oh, I'm getting more money. It's like, no, we're getting fucked is what we're getting. It's like the same thing as what they're doing in, the funeral homes, going in, hey, you can make a little extra here. So we gotta all be like, fuck you and fuck your extra money. Fuck your bullshit, man. So, but like I said, not everybody's going to do it. And just be full disclosure, when you do stand up, you will have obstacles. Because then when my car broke, and then I was like, fuck, and I'm living rural, it's like, fuck, how am I going to get around now? And then luckily my mom stepped up. But then that had, more tied, because, I was still had to keep paying some of this shit. So the loan, because when I very first got it, I thought that the bank was going to fail right then. And that has been years. My car's almost paid off now. I've got one more year to pay it. So I've almost paid that shit off. But I guess still, supposedly, we get our interest back of all of this scam that they've been doing to us. So, anyways, bullshit. There's always bullshit. And, but if you do try and stand up to the system will rear its ugly head at you. And you can have obstacles to have to overcome. So you do have to really be prepared mentally. Don't just do it because you feel like, well, I'm going to prove that. No, you got to do it because you feel. You don't just do it because, I say do it. You got to follow your own guidance. And then you have lessons in there, things that you learn, and your transits and all that stuff. So, I don't want to be somebody's bad karma. So don't just do something because I say do it. Do it because you want to do it. Do it because you're following your own guidance. I can just share what goes on with my guidance and what my experience is. But I'm not trying to tell anybody, go try and copy my experience. So, anyway, because then, I've been living in a garage for almost a year. Because the first week of January is when I was here. And now I'm going to be leaving the third week of October will be my last day here. And so that's just, 2 months shy of a year. And then even where I'm going is not, yeah, I mean, it still is like, it's like an upgrade from the garage, but it's not like a home. It's not like a house. I mean, this is still transitional until I get my own home or my own house. That will be where I have my own place again. And that is all dependent on how long it takes for the system to shuffle around till I, go into, it's like, I don't know, kind of reminds me of like the the, the I think some of this stuff was made up stories and stuff, but in the storyline of like the slaves all trying to leave slavery and going on the underground railroad and all that stuff, that's what I kind of feel like. It's like I'm leaving the system and I'm going underground and going through the people who, let me be there. And so it's kind of going through this undercurrent system to stay out of the main system, but it's it is it's like leaving one to go to another, but still it's a transition into where it is that we're going, because I know things are going to change and things are going to get better, and we're going to get, things are going to change for, I don't know, it depends on where each person goes, but I know where I'm going, things are going to change. It is this access point to get to something better, but it's like you have to leave what's there. It's like go underground into the caves and go through, and if you have to sleep on the rocks or whatever to get to the point of access into the new world. But it still is this like leaving the old one. For me, I'm not saying everybody has to do this, everybody has to do what I'm doing. It's like I know what I'm supposed to do. And so that's what I'm doing. But I know that this next point is still a transitional point. It's still just, one of the places I stop in the Underground Railroad in order to get to where it is that I'm going to north, or I'm getting to the land of the free. And I saw this video this morning too. This lady, she lives way out in Kansas, and she said that she had her room, the way she had put her house and built her house was so she could see the moon, because the moon was always at the same place, always, but now it's in a new place. And she was saying that it's totally in a new place. And this morning, like yesterday was such a bright, for the last 4 days or something, but this big full moon, it was totally bright, lighting everything up. Now there's nothing out there again today. And it just does this weird shit. It's there, then it disappears, and it's over here, it's over there. It's just like weird shit. But she was saying that it's totally, and she was also talking about, there's lots of people who think like there's all these things and stuff. She said they're drones that she can see, and that they're over. And she said another thing that is really weird is, so she has an airport on each side of her, and she said that when the moon is full, the planes won't fly over near it. Like she said, there's some weird shit going on with the planes. There's weird shit with these drones. It's like these drones are set watching and monitoring or something. So they're like watching it. I don't know. Everything is weird, man. But it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like we've been in this very controlled society, but people started waking up, trying to escape, going to the Underground Railroads and stuff. And then that they are trying to watch us and monitor us and stuff, but they can't stop it. It's going to keep going, whether there's certain people who are in denial of it and don't, because there's such a huge misunderstanding of this place and what it is we're doing here and how it's structured and stuff, because there's so many people dependent on their belief system, or so in the like internalized programming of indoctrination or something, because religion and stuff is such a big one. And even people who say that they don't believe in religion, you still hear them talk about devils and gods and stuff like that. Where, um, what was this? This was a video I saw this morning too. And it was talking about the dark or something. Like people think of it being like devils and demons and stuff like that, but it's these dark lords, these dark spirits. And then some of them do expect rituals and they do give back stuff, but see, that's the dark. There's also the light. And there's there was this other girl she was talking about that there's about to be, the division is about to occur between like the star seed. She was saying the star seeds and the humans. When I was listening to her talk, I was thinking, oh, I think that is like some of us that are here, that like I've been talking to these beings since I was a little kid. And so I have a different view of things. And, it was apparent throughout my life when I would say stuff like aliens are real, and people would think I was so crazy. It's like, well, I've been talking to these other beings, but I also know that they're not monsters. I also understand that everything's vibration dimensions, and these are beings that can go through that, and you have to be a higher to be able to go through all these different ones and all this stuff. So anyways, my understanding of things is different. But when I would try and say something just as basic as aliens are real and stuff, that people would be so resistant to that. And I was thinking, like, the star seeds or whatever, it's like the bridging, the beings that are here to bridge between the old and the new. And so it's like the beings that came here it's like the light. It's like, to me, it's like the Marines or something for the military. So it's like the boots on the ground. And so it's like the higher vibration. Okay, so if it's like, if you take a place that's super dark, and the people have been just going round and round and round in this dark, and they're dissatisfied, they want to pull out, but they don't know how. And then there's people who are out, and they are constantly trying to communicate and trying to show a path. But even when they've come down to show things that, like, our government has got so much control that they pushed them back and said no, because they'd come at different times to help, but so they wouldn't accept it. So the way to do it, to bring it, was to have people birthed into it, so that they would be here and they would be the link, so that they could pull that energy down to them. And so it is like, it's like the mid crew. So you have people who are over here, and then you have people who are up here, and then we have all the people who are the dark. But so you have these ones, but then there's the middle ones. So I think, like, people like me who have been communicating, like, and I don't know all of my, astral heritage or whatever. I've been shown some things, but I don't know everything. But but so then it is like, we are the middleman to bring in acceptance. So because we will go out there when first contact happens, there's gonna be a group of people who are not scared at all. We know everything's fine. We know that these people are not somebody to fear, that they are here. Like, we understand them on a different level. And so we are the mid of, so it gives these people more of a safer thing. Like, they could see, like, oh, well, these people are interacting with them, and then they're not getting hurt or something. Because, I mean, we got people over here who are scared of seals, scared of squirrels, they're scared of every fucking thing. So these other beings that come that look different and stuff, that they are going to, it's like they need a a middleman in order to have it. So it's like there's been all these middlemen who have been being prepared since they were little, but it's like a role that you come in. It's not like it's just random. And so, because like I've been being prepared since I was 3. So but it's because of, to me, it's a total acceptance of these other beings. It, they aren't scary to me. And so there needs to be those people. So it's kind of like the humans see them as other humans, but they also have a connection outside. Hopefully this makes sense because I can see it and it makes sense to me. And when she was talking, it made sense to me. And she was talking about that all these people who are going to start understanding themselves on this other level. And she said, if you thought that the pronouns were weird, if you thought that that was too much, then you're going to be better be prepared for what's to come. Because once people start really pulling towards their galactic roots and stuff, people are going to get real weird, which I'm sure probably will. I mean, so, but I do, but I was, whatever, all the stuff she was saying, I just started seeing as like, oh, there's like these middlemen. And it's funny too, because a long time ago, I got a reading by Daniel Scranton. I was asking him some questions. I was asking the Arcturians some questions. And in the thing, because he sends me the tape, and in the thing, some of the stuff they had said, but they were saying something like that, like I was an ambassador or something to this. Anyways, the stuff he said, you know, I was like, I could hear it, but now I see it on this other kind of level. Like, it's weird how, like, when you hear different things, it opens up these other ideas or other visions in your mind where you can see more clearly. And so then I started being like, oh, I see. So it's like, because I was bred to accept these other beings, I would be a middle man to help other people see that, to be able to accept them. So that would be like an ambassador for this community in between the two communities. So I think it's something like that. But I think there's lots. I don't think it's just like I'm one. I think there's lots and lots of people. I don't think I'm the only one they've been communicating to since I was little. The groomer yesterday started telling me about her telepathy yesterday. She's been using telepathy since she was young. And she was in her visions, and she would get visions of things that would happen in the future. But she started getting freaked out by it, so she started blocking it. But I think there's lots of people who have telepathy and hidden kind of things that they didn't understand and freaked them out and stuff. So I think there's going to be lots of people besides me that, and I'm sure there's lots of people who are communicating. Like I see tons and tons of mediums and channelers and all that stuff now. And then it will be revealed, like, who or what we're channeling by what energy or frequency. And that's why when you listen to some people, you got to just pay attention to what it is they're talking about and decipher for yourself. Is this low energy or high energy, or low vibration or high vibration? What does this all mean? What are they saying? Because you can be channeling lower vibration people. And this, you know, the other day when I was saying about, I was seeing these people talking about this mall, this astral mall that they're all going to in their sleep. And so I heard somebody who was talking about, so he's seen more of these videos or something. So he said, not only are all these people realizing that they're all going to the same place in the astral, like when they're dreaming, they're all going to this mall that also is connected to a hospital. It's also connected to, like, it's all this city, this astral city, and they're all going to it. But now they're all starting to have the awareness of being there. So they're starting to communicate inside of it with other people. Then when they're leaving, they go out into the physical world. They're meeting the people that they were meeting in their dreams. And so there's this crossover in the dream world and the astral world. But he said another level to it, though, is that there are demons. So these dark entities, like I've been saying, because I feel like that they are messing with me at night too. That last night's dreams were just crazy, man. Just crazy. And they're so long. It's like you totally are going to a different reality and going through this whole thing. But so there's these demon beings or whatever, and they are trying to KILL people in this astral world. And that's the thing about, he goes, hopefully they can't do it. But that's the thing, I think, is if they can get you to believe that you are, so you have to be able to pull out. You have to be able to get more lucid in your dreaming. Because I think if they get you to convince that you are dead, that they could get you to die, to disconnect from your body or something. I don't know. Or if it's just a type of harassment. But the astral world is becoming more and more clear or real to a lot of people. People are starting to see, not just dreaming, you are going into other realities, and they are more stationary. They're more of a station. They're not just out in the vagueness. It's like these layers of realms. And in this realm that we are in, there's layers outside of it. We're not just going all over the place. It's like a containment. And so, just like I said, you can't just go from going in the dark and going into the heavens. There's layers. And so, and you think like, well, if you're coming out of your body and going into dreams, and you think that you're just dreaming, you're just laying there dreaming, then you aren't the vibration to be into the heavens and to no. But that's what all this stuff that's going on, this awakening that is about, is to be able to come into your conscious state of being so that you do have an understanding, so you can move through the other dimensions and move out of these dimensions. But that is what I also talk about, is the cleansing. You have to cleanse yourself. You have to let go of all of this darkness. You have to let go of the parts you've played in the darkness, and in order to move out of it, so it's attached to you. And you have to disconnect your attachments, which are, you can look at them like dark entities and stuff. You know, like the entity of anger, the entity of resentment, the entity of insecurity. These different entities, which are really just an energy of darkness that doesn't really have the same conscious state as you. Like it's not to the level of being able to pull itself out of its state of being. It's more of like a earthworm, a parasitic earthworm that just lives off of you. And so you are the one who has to stop feeding it. You're the one who has to recognize and pull yourself free from it. So you can't move into the higher states of being when you are insecure, resentful, angry. That's why, forgiveness and all those things pull you out of there. That's why you have to be able to look around the people and be able to learn how to forgive, not hold on to bitterness and stuff, because that's what holds you back. That's all dark. It's all the dark that is holding on to you. And in this world that they started teaching people, that it was empowering to cut people out, and it's like keeping you trapped in your bitterness and your anger. When you need to go towards that and forgiving and letting go of shit. And they want to keep you trapped in this because it's like such a huge wave, a movement of this, what do they call it? Like cutting people off, no contact. All this no contact. I'm no contact. I'm no contact. Well, and you think like you are building up your boundaries or something, but really you're just disconnecting and holding on to anger and resentment. So that's a trap. It's keeping you trapped in this no contact. I'm not dealing with them and I hate them and all that stuff. When you have to go and heal them, and it may not go to a point of being able to be like, oh yeah, we're best friends now. No, but it resolves you into being able to figure out how to set your boundaries, stand up for yourself, to not just put somebody in their place, because that sounds kind of like bitter right there, but to just be like, you know, to keep a boundary of you, and but to still be able to let go of shit, not be holding on to stuff, because holding on to it is the trap. It's going to hold you back. So you got to find the cleansing of your soul through forgiveness and moving out of this victim mentality, moving into, like a surrender and letting go of shit. And so it's, that's part of the process, but that's the process of letting go of the dark and having the dark let go of you. And that's the only way out to move up in your vibration, to get out of the realms of where a lot of people think that they don't want to be. But that's the way to move out of them. But then you got to see, like, also, it's like a game. It's like a video game and stuff. So it's like moving through the levels of the game. So it's just not as serious as, you know, it's, I mean, it looks like, well, you've been imprisoned and stuff, but your soul is more powerful and divine than what you give it credit for. So it doesn't sit there. It's like a challenge. It's like a game. It's like the game, you know, I kind of see it like, you know, people who want to go play Dungeons and Dragons, because it's like we can get role playing into this stuff. So, and they enjoy it. So it's kind of like your soul enjoys, you know, this. Like we, with all our emotions and stuff, we can feel overwhelmed, like we're burdened by all this. But your soul doesn't feel the same way. That's why a good thing about connecting with your soul is that, because your soul doesn't feel the same way about all this. It knows it's not real. It knows it's not true. It knows that people don't die. It knows that these people aren't monsters out to get you, that we're all just playing different roles. It knows that it's played other roles in this whole game. So it doesn't take things so serious as what we take it. And I was just thinking about this other video where I saw this guy talking about what's going on, like these certain group that has a lam at the end of it, and that they come from the east and the middle, and that they are going, you know, that they are actively like trying to take over or something, and that, but and this guy was saying these are the true colonizers, and he was explaining more and stuff about what they do and stuff. But that is what I've said for a long time. There's these different groups here, these different tribes that are all these colonizers from all these other worlds. And those people, I've said it for a long time, those are their own tribe, they're their own group. But I don't know right now actively that they are trying to, you know, I mean, because there's a lot of people who think that, like the sleeper cell and all this stuff, and the Machotes and all this stuff, like that they are out. Which another thing that is like built on their hypocrisy and stuff is this, because more people talking now about these, the dancing boys, and it's weird because this group hates gay people, hates women, hates gay people, all this stuff, but they are in denial of their own gayness. Because, and they're not even just gay, they're also little kids, so, but they gotta be boys. So, I don't know. And they are also into the child bride thing, which I guess the leader someplace just made that, where she even took a bunch of, like 850 kids outside, took them out of their weird marriages and stuff. But that group is a lot of low vibrational stuff. And so there are certain groups that will not be moving yeah, out into the same space as other groups. So some groups that do a lot of low vibrational stuff, they're also going to be just like zap, they're gone. And they may not, it may be that we go from them. They may stay and just continue learning their lessons through this different stuff, because we've all learned through different civilizations. So they may continue their journey, but it may be that certain groups will split from them and go experience theirs. It all depends on what your perspective is on the split. If they're split, but there definitely is going to be a split, but who moves away from who, it remains to be seen how it all plays out. And probably, since it's all different realms, it is, but I don't know if the earth leaves as skeletal remains, because there's like this splitting that they say is going to happen of the earth, but it would be dimensional. So if there's a remnants that are left, that there will be beings that will continue to play out that stuff. But it's like the soul of the earth moves forward, and that is, and then the soul of all these other, which that to me is like the rapture thing. So it's like this beginning of something new. But if you want to go to the new world, you have to let go of the old world. You have to really purge out the dark, because it will keep you trapped in this old state of being, this old way of playing things out. So you really have to purge it all out of you. I just can't stress it enough. But then I can't tell people who don't feel it, because you're programmed to go through the experience you're here to go through. And so it's like, I can trigger some memories for people, and where they start thinking of things and it starts opening their mind, and they start remembering what they're here for, and they start following the journey to really heal themselves and stuff. Or, I could just sound like blah, 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 blah. And that's because, you're not meant to understand me. You're meant to be here for a different experience. And so, I don't know. But there's a lot of different things going on here, but definitely they're into the new vibrational place. It is not going to have these certain things that seem to be coming to the surface. So, I mean, it's going to be like child brides there, and dancing boys, and kids that like to just see what it's like to go do something to somebody else and all that stuff. No, that's like bringing to the surface what it is you're here to work on. So it's the splitting apart. So I don't know. Sometimes I look at it, it's like that is the rapture. That is all the moving into this higher vibrational thing where we are more focused on our souls, and the three-dimensional world ceases to exist for us, and we start living through our intention, through our soul, and that brings us into a higher state of consciousness, which is a higher vibration, which is more available to your experience, and it's not as much about the lessons and stuff. So if that makes sense. But it seemed like there was something else too. I already said about the TARRIF money. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of people exposing a lot of different things, and there's just a lot going on. And so we'll see as things continue to play out. Now today's Friday. Is it Friday? Yeah, today's Friday. And tomorrow's Saturday, and tomorrow I'm leaving. But it's always at the end of the week where it seems like, then we go into the weekend, and it's always could be anything can happen. Anything can happen. So we just got to see what does happen, because anything could happen. So, but let's look at this. Yesterday, I washed my hair and there was some shedding, but it just didn't seem like it was as bad. So I still am feeling kind of good about that. So still got to see, you know, and and I don't know what all, like, I'm doing so many different things. So, but it does seem like more hair is growing. It does seem like less shedding now. But it's going to take a while for the hair to get way down here, even though for some of these people, it's like, it took a month. It's a month. And look at this whole new thing of hair. It's like, what the fuck? Okay. So, and my eye is still fucking around. And some of the days I get up and it's just like this, all this stuff coming out of my eye. So, I don't know. It's still fuckery. And, in the tooth. And it's still super sensitive. So, we're out on that. So, you got to keep going towards your health. You got to figure out your stuff about your intake, your everything you're willing to intake, everything you're willing to consume. It's all, you have to be the one deciding what's best for you, what's good for you, and what's good for, you got to start focusing on what's good for your soul. And I'm telling you, forgiveness is important. It's key. And this whole friggin' shenanigans of just no contact and stuff, like, you got to think things through. And that just keeps you held on to pain and suffering. It keeps you divided. They're the enemy. And they're not. They're really close to you. They're here to help you, and you're here to help them. So it's working on those relationships. And we're all here learning our own stuff. So, and you can't just be dependent on somebody else to be your savior and be your whatever. And people who you meet in the astral are really, I know that. I know that. And, but some of the ones, it's like you don't know when you're going to come across them. But I know that it's like the souls, like it's like the souls, on a soul level entry, because you are connected on this other level. So you can connect in the astral because you know each other already. And there's some people who say, like, none of this is real. You are the only thing that's there. I think that there's lots of souls. I think there's lots of souls, and the universe depends on us all to bring the authenticity, or the definition of each experience in its own unique form. So the universe depends on all things happening, and every person has all these different things. So we're all making different turns to create this spectacle of life. And so I don't think it's just you, but your perspective is just you. How you are looking and seeing things is you. That is what defines you. And so, but you always have the ability to expand and look through and see things different, and to start seeing through multiple views, multiple visions. And that is what helps you to be accepting and forgiving to other people, and have empathy and compassion. And so, and watch what you eat, man. Watch what you eat, God. I just can't get over all that fucking soil and green shit. So, anyways, and it's more and more going to come out. It's not just this one McDonald's in Germany. Bet your ass. There's already been some here. Bet your ass. And it's not just fucking fast food. There's people who think it's fast food, but they're bringing home food from the stores and it's got teeth and shit in it, because it's I don't know. Just go listen to Finkelstein when he has to say about it. So he'll enlighten you. But until then, just remember to work on you, because that is the gift. That's what the whole thing that's going on now is, for you to work on you and be pulling free from the world you don't want to be a part of, and to learn your lessons. And there is going to be a huge separation, and I still think it's going to be this big reduction in population. I think is going to come from the storms and the volcanoes, earthquakes, and all that stuff, tsunamis, and fuck, some of this some of the attitude of some of these different groups is going to be, you know, they're going to all go together. It's going to be all like a huge things. They're going to take out huge groups. So, anyways, but they can't do wrong. It's whatever they came here to do is what they're going to do. So, but you can make a choice and be conscious of what your choices are and focus on you and learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody else, and learn how to have the day you want to have, because it's totally up to you. So we'll see what this day brings us, and we will talk about it in the morning before I leave. So, and then, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.